Right now, as millions are reeling from the impacts of Hurricane Helene, volunteers from Madison head south to help with recovery efforts. We catch up with them before they embark on their journey. Plus, the Pack are back in action, this time with quarterback Jordan Love. Our Andrew Bancha joins us from Lambeau Field on QB1's return. And we're following as Wisconsin lawmakers continue to fight for the legalization of marijuana in the state. At the 54th annual marijuana harvest, what they had to say. That's all coming up on News 3 Now at 10. Good evening and thank you for joining us tonight. I'm Jalen Banks. Communities across 5 states in the South are continuing to clean up following Helene, a storm that has claimed the lives of at least 105 people. And the Carolinas are seeing unprecedented levels of damage, with authorities rushing to airlift supplies and restore communication. The city of Asheville, North Carolina is underwater across the state. Wrecked roads have isolated some communities where power along with internet and cell phone service is out. North Carolina Governor Roy Cooper said during a press conference Sunday, this is an unprecedented tragedy that requires unprecedented response. And just yesterday, the dams in Tennessee, 2 dams in Tennessee broke, causing further damage. And that's where Red Cross volunteers from southern Wisconsin will be headed. Our Merrill Hubbard caught up with them and those volunteers as they detailed their path of action and gear up for this lengthy journey.
They've lost everything.
The Red Cross has over 45 emergency response vehicles deployed to areas that have been hit by Helene. Almost 1,400 disaster workers are out there and more will be on the way.
This could be, the only food that they're going to get, for that day or, for the week.
Red Cross launched this relief response to give help across hundreds of miles from Florida to Tennessee.
We are headed towards Tennessee to help with hurricane relief.
Meet Luis and Kevin Johnson, who are 2 out of 25 Wisconsin volunteers who have decided to go help the people hit by Helene's destruction. They will drive around 11 hours and feed people that can't make it to their nearest help center.
Yeah, we all have so much in our own lives that it's nice to be able to give back, even if it's just helping someone by handing them out some food or a hot cup of coffee or a hug.
This is the couple's first time volunteering to help with a natural disaster.
So it's going to be a learning experience for us, but they will give us a path to go and show us where the people are that need it.
Flying out soon to North Carolina, Bonnie Teet isn't new to disaster deployment, as this will be her 3rd time going out to give support.
My first deployment was with Hurricane Ian, and then my next one, it was in California for the flooding a couple of years ago.
She says once you start helping, it's hard to stop.
They've helped me just as much. I'm so much more appreciative now for the things that I have, because it's so many people the next day, they've lost everything.
So these volunteers are hitting the road now so they can bring hope to people that have been hit by Helene. Reporting in Madison, Merrill Hubbard, News 3 Now.
Merrill, thank you. And if you would like to donate to the American Red Cross, there is a banner on our website that'll take you to a link to be able to donate. That is at channel3000.com. Our thoughts are certainly with those impacted. But for now, let's get a look at your first warn forecast with meteorologist Blaze Keller, who's out on the weather patio. Blaze, good evening.
Yeah, it is a very nice evening out here across southern Wisconsin. We're wrapping up the days left in September. Tomorrow is the last day. Tuesday is the start of October, and Tuesday is when we'll briefly cool on down. Until then, we're back into the upper 70s to low 80s for your Monday. Right now, right around 52 degrees in Sparta, 58, Lake Geneva, 59 in Boscobel, 64 in Madison. A lot of us across the Dane County area in those low 60s. Future track is going to keep us quiet for the most part this evening, but I want to turn your attention to folks to the east of, I would say, the Dells. You're going to have the best chance, and you're seeing it there on Future Track, for that patchy morning fog. Again, not everyone is going to be dealing with that fog. I would say it'll be around between 6 and maybe 8 o'clock tomorrow morning, burning off between 9 and 10. But again, that could expand into parts of Dane County, maybe within the Wisconsin River Valley, but I think a lot of that fog is actually going to be off towards the east this evening. 50s tonight, clear to mostly clear conditions. We are tracking a drier than average weather pattern that's going to be setting up here for southern Wisconsin. We'll just isolate a few chances for rain, though, in the week ahead in just a few minutes.
All right, sounds good, Blaze. We'll see you then. A driver is dead following a Saturday afternoon rollover crash near Portage. According to the Wisconsin State Patrol, the crash happened around 1:50 p.m. along Interstate 39. The driver was operating a 2007 GMC Savannah van and was the only occupant. Further information about the driver and the cause of the crash were not released. Janesville police have arrested a man in connection to a shots fired call. According to a press release by the Janesville Police Department, officers responded early this morning to a disturbance call in the 1300 block of Hamilton Avenue on the city's northwest side. The man, who was armed, ran into the woods before officers arrived. Police searched for the man, who they say did cooperate and is now in custody. JPD says this was an isolated incident. And road work is expected on a portion of Cranston Road in Beloit starting tomorrow. The Cranston Road resurfacing project includes resurfacing the road from Prairie Avenue to the Turtle Creek Bridge, just past Collingswood Drive. Traffic safety initiatives are being included in the project, including reducing the road down to 2 lanes. Cranston Road will remain open in both directions. Businesses and resident access will remain open as well. However, turns on and off Cranston Road may be limited to only right turns only. In more local news, the 54th annual Midwest Marijuana Harvest protest brought hemp enthusiasts out to James Madison Park for most of the day, ending with the protest at the Capitol. Their purpose is to advocate for full legalization of cannabis in the state of Wisconsin through hemp production and sales, with them being allowed. Advocates here still want legalization of cannabis. They marched to the Capitol, where Senator Melissa Agard spoke in support of this cause.
It is clear that many people in Wisconsin are driving to these other communities. That doesn't increase safety for our communities. It doesn't provide a path to prosperity for our farmers and our small business owners. It doesn't provide adequate protections for our communities and our children. And frankly, it doesn't honor people's personal liberties and freedom.
Facts. Or compassion.
And back at James Madison Park, there was quite the celebration with live music, hemp vendors and food trucks, sample THC beverages, and so much more. Attendance was free. The Packers back in Lambeau this week, this time with quarterback Jordan Love. Could Love and the Pack get it done against the undefeated Vikings? Well, our Andrew Bancha joins us now from Lambeau with the answer.
An exciting afternoon came to a screeching stop in Lambeau today. The Vikings came into Green Bay and scored 28 unanswered points, leaving Lambeau as lifeless as I've ever seen it. But then the Pack punched back. They responded to that massive deficit with a 29-3 run. That just doesn't happen. It was finished off by this beautiful ball from Jordan Love to Dontavian Wicks. Touchdown Packers in the final minute of the game. The extra point made it a 31-29 Packers deficit, but the surge was stopped short of what would have been the Pack's biggest comeback ever.
It sucks, it sucks not going out there and performing the way we want to, and having a game where, it finishes, a 2-point game where if we just do some different things early on and make some of those plays, it's a different ball game. So it sucks. It's one of those things. We're going to come back next week and keep working and, learn, watch the tape, grow from this game, and, we'll see these guys again later on in the year.
Matt LaFleur said that he liked the fight that he saw from his team in the second half and added they've really learned some lessons, but said he'd just prefer to learn those lessons in a winning effort. We'll have much more coming up in sports. For now, at Lambeau Field, Andrew Banstra, News 3 Sports.
Andrew, thank you. Coming up next on News 3 Now at 10, we remember a country music legend as we look back on the life of Chris Christopherson. Plus, preparing for flu season, tips from Dr. Rupa Shaw on how to stay safe from sickness is on the way.
I'm a nurse in Wisconsin, and my patients don't want politicians like Eric Hovde making their healthcare decisions.
I am totally opposed to abortion.
Hovde means what he says about opposing reproductive rights.
Eric Hovde supported overturning Roe v. Wade, which led to an abortion ban in Wisconsin.
And that's a ban with no exceptions for rape or incest.
What Hovde supports criminalizes abortion and doctors like me.
We need to vote against Eric Hovde.
Win Senate is responsible for the content of this ad.
They've been rocking audiences for decades. It's Foghat. Performing live November 30th at Ho-Chunk Gaming, Wisconsin Dells.
I just want to make
with special guest, The Empty Pockets. Tickets are on sale now through Ticketmaster. Legendary rock band Foghat. Live in concert November 30th at Ho-Chunk Gaming, Wisconsin Dells. Your odds are better here.
Energy is like a symphony. Every note, every chord, every instrument creates an incredible melody of power and possibility. But that energy needs to be reliable to have the same power, and affordable to keep the melody. At home, on the road, on farms and fleets, and even ports. Propane and renewable propane lower carbon emissions while harnessing the full symphony of energy. Learn more about safe, clean, reliable propane at propane.com.
With Chevy trucks, be ready for adventure. With power you can count on. Capability that doesn't compromise. A hard-working EV with more range than any competitor. And the potential to take you anywhere.
Get 0% financing plus make no monthly payments for 90 days on all 2024 Silverado 1500 pickups. Or get $5,750 total value on this Silverado. See your Badgerland Chevy dealer today.
You've probably seen all these negative ads against me. Well, here's the deal. They are designed to tear us apart. But here's the truth. My life's work has been fighting on behalf of others. It's why I became a prosecutor, district attorney, and attorney general. I took on drug cartels and human traffickers to protect our communities. Look, everyone is tired of the petty, destructive politics. Let's turn the page and chart a new way forward. I'm Kamala Harris, and I approve this message.
These were my great-grandpappy's glasses. And now they're yours, son.
Why can't I just get my own?
What? No, these have at least a few hundred years left in them.
I think the kid needs his own. Get 2 pairs of glasses and a free eye exam for $79, all same day.
Yeah, I want my own.
Stanton Optical. Easy's our thing.
Madison residents will have big choices to make in November over the future of our schools.
We're talking about investing into our kids and into each other.
I'm breaking down the Madison school referendum questions, what they could mean for the district, and your tax bill. 3 for the People, Tuesday at 10.
You're watching News 3 Now at 10. Moving forward.
Thank you for staying with us. Country music legend Chris Christopherson is dead at the age of 88. The singer, songwriter, TV and movie star was known for his role opposite of Barbra Streisand in 1976's A Star Is Born, as well as the hit song and group Highwaymen, along with albums The Silver-Tongued Devil and I and the self-named Christopherson album. In a release from his family, they say Christopherson passed away peacefully in his home in Maui. When people think of fall, many think of Halloween and pumpkin spice. Well, that's all fine and dandy, but just as fall weather heads our way, so do respiratory illnesses. Kyrian Lee sits down with SSM Health family medicine physician and wellness coach Dr. Rupa Shaw with more.
Are there ways to avoid getting sick, or is it inevitable that we'll all suffer from colds, COVID, the flu, and other illnesses this year?
Well, it's probably likely that we'll get some version of something, just because there's always so many circulating viruses this time of year. But you can do a few things to avoid getting sick this year. And number one is, of course, the vaccines, right? So you can get the updated COVID vaccine that's really going to protect you against the variants that are circulating right now. Also really recommend to get the new 2024 flu vaccine, which is going to protect against the circulating strains of influenza A and B. So those are 2 really great things. Now, the biggest thing we can do is boost our immune system. So this is difficult, right? Because that's the only defense we have against all these viruses and bacteria. But getting good sleep, eating healthy, avoiding alcohol, avoiding sugar. These are all great things that we can do to really boost up our immune system and make sure we've got our best defense against all these viruses.
Yes. Yeah. So knowing that colds, COVID, flus, and other respiratory illnesses can almost oftentimes make you feel miserable, are there things you can or should take, or should it become a part of your routine to take care of yourself?
Yeah, again, I think just optimizing your health in terms of your sleep, diet and exercise. Those are always kind of the three pillars I always rest my, tell my patients about too. These are the best things you can do. Now, if you get sick with COVID, we of course have some medications out there like Paxlovid. So if you're early on day 2, 3 of symptoms, make sure you get into your physician to see if you're eligible for one of these treatments. Same thing with the flu. We've got some antiviral treatments that we could give you if you come down with influenza. So you have to get tested and make sure you're within that early treatment window so that we can get you treated. So check in with your physician right away if you're coming down with symptoms, and we can see what we can help you with.
And do you think COVID's going to be a big one this year still yet? I know first started 2020. Is this one still going to be big headed into the season?
I think so, yeah. I think we're going to see COVID, and then we're going to see it mixed in with everything else, influenza A, B, RSV, pneumococcal. You know, we're going to see all of these different things kind of mixed in. It's going to be a mixed bag, in addition to our regular viruses, adenovirus, rhinovirus. You know, it's always that hodgepodge that we see once the kids start back at school, so.
Yes, can't escape it seems.
No, so good hand washing, covering your mouth, masking, social distancing, all of that is a good idea.
Just take care of yourself out there.
Yeah, definitely.
Well, Dr. Shaw, lastly, where can we find you?
You can find me on Instagram at Wellness with Dr. Shaw.
Kyrian and Dr. Shaw, thank you. Now let's go look at your first one forecast with meteorologist Blaze Keller. Blaze.
Some patchy fog on Monday, but otherwise sunny, and we're still in the 80s. It's fall-like conditions on Tuesday. That's really the biggest thing over the next 7 days because southern Wisconsin and a lot of not only the state, but the rest of the Midwest and the plains are going to be slipping into a drier than average weather pattern here, not only over the next 6 to 10 days, but also into the next possibly 2 weeks, extending all the way out to maybe the middle of October. Not to say that we won't see rain through that time frame, but compared to what we would otherwise normally see from about the 1st of October through the middle of it, we're just going to be trending drier. The first chance for some light rain, emphasis on the light, is going to be later Monday night into early Tuesday. A cold front is going to swing through the area. I would say folks north of the Dells probably have the best chance just because there's not a lot of moisture with this cold front to use. And behind that, we see a high pressure system come on in, and that's really what we're going to be seeing here over the next couple of days is a series of high pressure systems moving in out of the Pacific Northwest. This is the main player pushing a lot of these systems coming out of the Pacific into Canada where they dry out. As they move into the United States, they bring us just that cooler air or at least drier air, which are then followed by a high pressure system and kind of reinforces the drier pattern. Watch as these systems stay to our north. High number 1. Here comes high number 2 as we Thursday into Friday. And that just reinforces the dry conditions across the United States, keeping a lot of those systems either to our north or to our south or to the east. So we're just going to unfortunately be drier as we go over the next couple of weeks. But I have to mention, and we have a write-up with the latest Beyond the Barometer, this has actually been a fairly wet year for Wisconsin. From the first of the year through the end of August, this is one of our top 5 wettest Januaries through August. In Dane County specifically, you're the wettest county in Wisconsin through the end of August with almost 14 inches of rain above normal. This is the second wettest first of the year through today's date in the Madison area. So overall, it has been a very wet year, but it's just going to be dry here over the next couple of weeks. Some morning fog to deal with on Monday, otherwise sunny and back into those upper 70s to low 80s. After briefly cooling down for the start of October, we're staying pretty much sunny here for the next at least 7 days. By the end of next weekend into the start of next week, we maybe cool on down and add back some shower chances. But Jalen, I would say other than early Tuesday and early Friday, we really don't see many rain chances here over the next 10 days.
An absolute roller coaster of a year continues. We had tornadoes, tons of rain, flooding, drought-like conditions. Just, I'm sure it's been fun for you in the weather department for sure.
It's been very interesting to track for sure.
Gotcha. All right. Well, sounds good. Thank you, Blaze. A flat tire is always a bummer, but having a spare tire can help you get back on the road quickly, but it may not be ready or safe when you need to use it. Consumer Reports reveals what you need to know before a tire emergency strikes again.
Driving to a spa appointment, Luz Placencia felt that familiar thud.
Sure enough, I had a flat tire.
Consumer Reports says safety first.
In the event that you do get a flat tire, you should pull off the road as far as you can in a safe area.
Next, you'll want one of these, a space saver tire, lovingly called the donut. Not long ago, it replaced the full-size spare in most passenger cars. With any luck, you might go years without needing to use one, but it should not be forgotten.
Spare tire expires just like your other 4 tires.
You heard right. Spare tires expire. The last 2 digits on the DOT number on the side wall of the donut tire indicate the year the tire was manufactured. If it's older than 10 years, replace it. And of course, a spare tire only works if it's properly inflated. Check your spare tire's pressure and condition anytime you check the pressure on your other tires, and top it off as needed.
Unfortunately, my car doesn't come with a spare tire.
As many as 60% of new cars don't have a spare tire.
In an effort from the manufacturers to lower production costs and reduce weight for fuel economy, they're just leaving the spare tire out. So don't ever assume you just have a spare tire.
Instead, you'll likely get an air compressor or a can of tire sealant that is supposed to patch the damaged tire and get you to a shop where it can get repaired or replaced. Some cars, mostly luxury models, come with run-flat tires that allow you to continue driving for a set distance, usually 50 miles at modest speeds, enough to get you home or to the service center for a replacement.
You shouldn't be driving around on these tires or a patch tire because that's not a permanent fix.
Or have your car taken directly to a service center. This is Rachel Joyce.
Another important tip from CR, no matter what flat tire solution your car has, learn how to use it before you need it in challenging circumstances. And coming up in sports, Jordan Love makes his Lambeau debut this season after missing the last 2 games. Andrew Bancher has his highlights of his return next.
News 3 Now First Warn Weather is brought to you by Lazy Boy Home Furnishings and Decor.
Discover a shopping and design experience as comfortable as the furniture. Lazy Boy Home Furnishings and Decor. Schedule your free design consultation today.
I'm Tammy Baldwin. I approve this message.
We found out our baby had severe fetal abnormalities and that my life was at risk. But Wisconsin Republicans' extreme abortion ban forced us to leave the state to get the care that I needed. It was a nightmare. Eric Hovde pushed to end Roe v. Wade. And in the Senate, Hovde would give Mitch McConnell the majority to ban abortion nationwide. No exceptions for rape, incest, or the health of women like me. What is wrong with these guys?
Their Bidenomics led to the highest inflation in 40 years. Highest gas prices ever. Skyrocketing interest rates. Unaffordable housing. Incomes down. Unemployment rising. And a recession now headed our way. Yet Kamala Harris is clueless.
We are very proud of Bidenomics. Bidenomics is working.
I'm Donald J. Trump, and I approve this message.
What if you never had to worry about what you could do? Because you could do anything. What if all the things that get in your way were gone? So the only thing left was possibility. If anywhere could be the center of everywhere, and boundaries only existed to be pushed. If every single drop of potential could be made real. So the only limit you faced was how big you could dream. And say you knew there were like almost 100,000 people across the country, right in your town, committed to making that happen. Every day. What would you do then? Some pretty cool stuff, I bet. Yeah, that'd be some life. That'd be life unlimited.
Dear unbreakable spirit, when the terrain is gnarly, you steady us. When obstacles are ahead, you lift us. When the turf is hostile, you inspire us. Own a legend. Toyota Trucks.
Right now, you can lease a tough new 2024 Tacoma for $319 a month. Find yours at Toyota.com. Toyota. Let's go places.
Okay, 500 deluxe garden gnomes. Wow.
I only meant to order 5. There's not enough money in my account for these. I'm gonna get charged.
2 things I just can't deal with:
Overdraft charges? Like garden gnomes. But your BMO Smart Advantage checking account gives you an extra day to avoid an overdraft fee.
Nice to see a bank cutting people some slack.
Well, mistakes happen, and we give you time to correct them.
So you don't like gnomes, huh? What about that one?
That one I like a lot.
BMO.
It felt like the stars had aligned for the Packers today. Jordan Love returning from injury to play the undefeated Vikings right here at Lambeau in the Packers NFC North opener. I mean, what more could you ask for in Week 4? Well, as it turns out, today, the Packers, they needed much more. The stars were more scrambled than aligned. 5 minutes left in the second. Vikings up 21-0, but Darnold wasn't done. He finds Justin Jefferson for the touchdown, make it 28-0 Minnesota. But Green Bay, they did not stop swinging. Made a big run in that second half, down 28-22, and Jordan Love finds Tucker Kraft for a Green Bay touchdown, and just like that, we've got a ball game. Now, Minnesota would go back down and kick a field goal, leaving Love and the Packers down 9 points. And here comes QB1, finding Dontavian Wicks for a touchdown, making it a one-score game. A valiant comeback that would have been the biggest in franchise history falls just short. The Vikings take this one 31-29, the final.
I think we all can be better. Myself, number one at the forefront of that. So this is a humbling league at times, and credit to them. They did more than we did to win the game, and we got to bounce back from it.
Obviously, when you're playing a good team, it's going to be hard to make mistakes early in the game and be able to, come back from that. So we just got to do better, just execution-wise.
Just came down to making plays in that second half, and I think we did a really good job of that. I think we, fought the whole game and started making plays later, but just too little, too late. Didn't make enough early on and didn't take advantage early on.
Jordan Love said after the game he didn't feel too limited by the knee injury that kept him out the past 2 weeks, but admitted he did encounter some pain, especially when he was hit in that knee, adding afterwards he doesn't know if it's something that will affect him for the rest of the season. At Lambeau, Andrew Banstra, News 3 Sports.
Andrew, thank you. After several key injuries and losing Craig Counsell to the South, with him going to the Cubs, many wrote the Brewers off heading into the season, but fret not. It's not too late to hop back on the bandwagon because the Crew are headed back to the postseason. But first, they have to finish up the regular season today. Final game today, Brewers facing off against the Mets, who are trying to punch their postseason ticket. Mets batter Brandon Nimmo with a single shot down the middle. Francisco Lindor digs for the home and just beats the throw. Mets up 1-0. Now we skip to the top of the 6th. Mets up 4-0, and Francisco Lindor would put the game away with a solo homer of his own, and that's all they would need. Mets win it 5-0 against the Crew. Now the Brewers are back in action Tuesday to kick off postseason play. The game starts at 4:32. Now, final check of your first one forecast is coming up when we return.
This is Ford Truck Month, with big offers on the trucks that don't subscribe to the word impossible. Like the off-road ready Ranger, the adaptable Maverick, plus F-Series, America's best-selling trucks, featuring the 2024 Ford F-150, and Super Duty, the North American Truck of the Year, all with offers that make owning one possible. This is Ford Truck Month. Lease a new Ford F-150 STX for $329 a month for 36 months, only at your local Wisconsin Ford dealer.
I remember coming home from school and pounding on the door, but my mother wouldn't answer. She'd be passed out inside. My mother had a drug abuse problem. She struggled with addiction to prescription pills her whole life. But today with fentanyl, one pill, just one pill can kill. So I've worked with Republicans to stop the flow of fentanyl that's poisoning families across Wisconsin. I'm Tammy Baldwin, and I approve this message. This fight hits close to home.
Caregivers are the heart of our communities. Start your caregiving career with free training, certification, and a $500 bonus. It's never been easier to become a certified direct care professional. WISC Caregiver Careers is a free program to train and reward caring individuals who wish to pursue careers in healthcare. Certified direct care professionals help older adults or people who have a disability. Sign up for training no matter your age or work experience. Free online training and a $500 bonus. Learn more at WISCCaregiversCDCP.com.
Brian Stiles said he's proud of his extreme record. So why is he lying about it? Stiles said he was proud to be part of a group pushing to gut Social Security and Medicare, that he proudly supports abortion bans. And Brian Stiles said he's proud to be backed by extremists pushing a total ban nationwide. Peter Barca's backed by police, firefighters, and unions because Peter puts Wisconsin first, no matter the party, and that's something to be proud of.
I'm Peter Barca, and I approve this message.
Energy is like a symphony. Every note, every chord, every instrument creates an incredible melody of power and possibility. But that energy needs to be reliable to have the same power, and affordable to keep the melody. At home, on the road, on farms and fleets, and even ports, propane and renewable propane lower carbon emissions while harnessing the full symphony of energy. Learn more about safe, clean, reliable propane at propane.com.
Drive into summer with the rugged Honda Ridgeline, Passport, and Pilot. Summer is for exploring, so get outdoors, kick up some dust, get muddy, or just find that perfect campsite. All from Honda, the 2024 Kelley Blue Book's KBB.com Best Value brand. So act now to get an offer you'll love. Buy online, reserve from select dealers, or hurry into the Honda Summer event.
Chris Stanford, News 3 Now This Morning. Moving forward.
Blaze, October is just, we'll just say a day away from
basically.
Now. To think that October is already here, the time is flying.
We're in the burr part of the year.
Yeah.
Soon it'll be November, December, and then we're into 2025. But we're very quickly going to approach your Monday. And it is going to be sunny for that final day of September. Upper 70s to low 80s. Maybe some morning fog, but that should burn off by about 9, 10 o'clock at the latest. A little bit cooler on Tuesday as we kick off October, but then we're sunny and back into the 70s starting Wednesday.
All right, well, sounds good. Thank you, Blaze, and thank you all for joining us. We'll see you back here tomorrow, and thank you for making it a great evening.